Hey everybody, this is Grace, and I just drove up here. I guess those people over there, I don't know if you can see them. I guess they're going to go zip lining out there. I don't know. But anyway, this is a nature preserve, and they got zip lining and all that, all kinds of stuff. I don't know. Haven't really been in there since like 2 years or more. Inside, that is, to find out what's all going on. But anyway, I wanted to come here and make a few videos. These are rough draft recordings of some mysteries I've been writing, and most of them are mysteries. Some of them aren't, but it's a huge series I have right now. I don't know what I would even call some of them, but they're like little series all to themselves, but they're also a part of a big series, and I have 42 of those, or 43, I'm not sure, and maybe even 44. And some of them I kind of jam together, and you can't do that. And also I have probably close to 200 characters. So yeah. But anyway, this is one of them. And I'm going to try to just get one out at a time. So, like, instead of doing it more like what you would watch on TV, because that's just too darn much. So I'll try to get one at it. So you might hear, if you subscribe to this channel, you want to hear what the mysteries. It's a huge one, and a bunch of them, like I said, and they all come together at some point. But subscribe to the channel, and go from there. But you might hear each one that I do, you'll hear a new intro, like the background information. That's the toughest part to me. That all that background information is just goes on and on and on. Yeah. Now this one is a little bit of an update on Leah. And Leah is a 57-year-old woman, and I'm not sure where I left off on the other ones. I haven't gone back through them and made them public yet. But basically, Leah, she's a 57-year-old woman, like I said, when all this starts, early 2020, and she's very wealthy, and she had inherited a lot. And she lives in Victorson County, Texas. Victorson County is fictional, but Texas, of course, is not. These are hypothetical fictional situations, mysteries, story, fiction. You get it. Okay, all copyrighted to me, even the rough drafts. Anyway, so I have a few pages of little notes about her, and I'm going to go read through them. Like I said, rough draft recording. These are helping me to get them all together. Now, some people might like to listen to them. Apparently, some do. I have them on more than one channel, and some people like them. And, so it's rough draft, little highlights, and eventually they can come all together. Yeah. Anyway, let's see. Which one would be first? Okay, but Leah has a friend. Leah's 57. She has a friend who's 20. I mean, not 20. She's 70. And, they basically met at the cabins on the lake, and, they were both fisherwomen, and they became friends. They kind of have similar attitudes, and Connie is she considers herself an empath, and she tells, Leah about what is an empath. This is over years and all, and, Connie's learning about it, and anyway, Connie had seen something that was really annoying to her starting in early 2020. Was basically a delivery woman, young woman, and she hurt, because of something that Connie said that was very insensitive, that she didn't know was insensitive. She basically found out that poor young woman had 2 kids, and her husband had run off or was just missing, and she was trying to make a lot of money, as much money as she could, and she had a mean boss that made her work fast, and anyway, and basically she kind of annoyed Connie in 2 stores, well, a store and a restaurant, and Connie kind of called her on it, and then found out that the woman's story, a young woman's story. Anyway, so Connie decided, she's wealthy too, she decided, 70 years old, she lived by herself, and she had lots of money, and so she decided she was going to open up her own delivery service, and basically take over that area from another woman that's been doing it, Sheila, for years. Sheila's the one that makes them just go do everything fast. Well, Connie said she was going to do this, and um, you know, Leah had been looking for something else to do, and Connie said, well, why don't you do it too? And she told her all about it, and Leah was already saying, that sounds good. So she decided she would do it. But she told her, she said, well, you want to check with Tabika. Now, Tabika's been running all the rest of the county that Sheila, the mean old woman, Sheila doesn't run. Tabika's younger than all of them. And she said, ask her, because she's been doing it. They're very polite. They're good. Most of the people that live in the county are good, decent people, except where Sheila lives. Sheila lives in a town that's actually called The Outlaws. It has a history, and they didn't want to change the name because they liked the history. They're not all bad, and not everybody's all good in the rest of it, the county. But overall, the rest of the county is good, decent people. The Outlaws are not. So anyway, Tabika, she said, hey, she didn't do one town called Hippie Town. It's actually called Hippie Town. And so that's where she wants to do. That's where Leah lives in the next town over. And she usually shops in Hippie Town because it's closer. And she said that's what she would do. She'd take over that part there. Okay. So, she said that's the area she had planned on. She does most of her shopping there. Like I said, she's right there on the border. And she was one that grew up, and it's called Victorson. It's the town Victorson in Victorson County. So, but she lived so close on the edge. She got a lot of people were, picking on her when she was young. Going through school and all that. And she just ignored it. But she goes there because it's so close, and so she knows the area. Anyway, Connie also said, and so did Tabika, you might want to clear it with the elders. Now, the elders of the county, they run everything. They have their hands in it. It's been like that. It's someone call it a tradition. It's just they grow up in it. It's part of part of their culture in a way, and so it doesn't bother them. They know that that's the score, that these elders, they tend to take care of things, and they're really good at it. That's why it's such a rich county, except for the Outlaws town. And overall, it's very wealthy, very, like I said, good, decent people. They really are kind of secluded from all other counties except one little small one to the south, and very small. And overall, they like it. They like being in their own bubble, and they don't tend to buy from outside. The Outlaws, the town of the Outlaws, they actually are the distribution center. They get things from the big city, which is 2 hours from their closest part, and so they do that, and then they distribute it. But people really like to rely on other people. They have farms. They have they have one big farm. They have the rest are ranches, and then they got some farming on them that circle the whole county, inside the county, but the towns. And people make their own stuff and all that. That's how they like it. They don't even like to watch any kind of like regular TV or any of those. They just listen to the radio. They watch their stuff on their own social media platform called Virtual County. That's just for them. And like I said, that little southern county is called South County, and they like it like that. So anyway, she said, hey, clear it with the elders. Now, the elders had been split up because of some dangers, some threats that the enforcement and the various people had received over time, and they were early 2020. They were split up into all these different ranches. They were dude ranches, and they had like these mansions on it because that's where people stayed that came from other places. And now they couldn't because they locked down the county, and they so the elders divided up by interest, and that's what happened there. And it turns out it's the virtual Victorson County has a Victor's World. That's where Connie grew up, Victorson. And I'm not Connie, but Leah. She grew up in Victorson, and they have an amusement park called Victor's World. Okay, get the drift. You know, Victor was the original founder many years before of the first town there. So anyway, Victor and his wife married. Anyway, there's more to that. But so she cleared it with them, and they told her about one person. I'm not going to mention the name because that's part of this another little series. But they told her about her problems and that they would actually pay Leah and her delivery service if she took on this other woman. Okay, this woman, because of her issues, took her on as an employee. Okay, and she said she'd do it, and they said things, like they would pay her to do it, but what they wound up doing was basically, it did pay her, but they also started buying delivery trucks because that's part of it too. Okay, I'm going to make this one short, but basically this is a little bit of the background. Like I said, the background takes so much, really. But anyway, Leah, she was going to do a regular kind of business, delivery business, like just to people. But then something else came up, and she got called in to the VW elders, and she got called, and things started to change, and that's in episodes to come. Anyway, wrapping this one up.